Imagine a map that leads you to treasure. This treasure is wealth and security. But the map's written in a foreign language you can't understand. And your family doesn't have enough money to pay the fee. This map is to post-secondary education. For millions stuck in the intergenerational cycle of poverty, this opportunity is tragically out of reach. And I've learned this through my studies of real structural barriers. One being the financial, second being social. And I've done this by examining institutions like the National Center for Education and academic journals. The U.S. secondary education is crucial, and we must encourage the implementation of financial or early financial aid literacy and sustained mentorship. We'll look into the two critical barriers to college, one being the social, like I said before, and the other being financial. And then we'll discuss the two specific targeted interventions that can work to bridge this gap. And before we get into it, I just want to say that this isn't just about helping other people's kids. It's about delivering a more equal opportunities and rebuilding our economy to deliver a more equitable society. So, now that I said that, we can get into the problems of poverty and college. So, the first critical barrier is going to be the social barrier. And this is going to be like the lack of influences and role models, or successful, I should say. The lack of successful role models or influences. And then this is known as social capital, according to Silver, from the article Class and the American Dream. And this is going to affect both long-term and immediate goals, because if you have somebody in your life that is, say, never went to college, maybe not saying anything negative about it, but maybe works at a gas station or something at an older age, that might be your goal then. You're not going to want to reach for a secondary education. You're not going to want to reach for college because you see that as your top. That's as far as you see yourself going, because that's where maybe your parents got, maybe that's where your siblings got, or whoever is your main influence in your life. So, and then the second one's going to be financial barriers, meaning the cost of school, which is the main deterrent, and the National Center of Education Statistics highlights the increasing cost of college. And then also another thing that is a deterrent from college is not knowing that you can use FAFSA scholarships, and it's maybe a bit easier than people think it is, or it's a lot more accessible than people think it is. So the targeted solutions are going to be, first one's going to be the implementation of financial aid literacy, which is going to help with that FAFSA and make it maybe make it mandatory for starting like 9th grade, or maybe late somewhere in middle school, high school. Get them thinking about FAFSA, get them thinking about college, maybe bring in students more younger, and maybe in like their first year of college, bring them in, show them that it's possible. Maybe somebody from the same monetary class as them, and show them that it is possible and that there is ways to get the money and support to go to college. And then my personal example is my scholarship that I received. And I gained this from one of my main mentors, which I'll get into the idea of mentors later, but she had helped me to figure out how to do scholarships and FAFSA, and she helped me a lot to realize that college is accessible for me, because my first year of college, I had just taken one credit because I didn't know if college was for me, and I didn't know if I could afford it. So I took the one class, and within that one class, she had me signed up for scholarships and FAFSA. So having somebody that's for maybe each student or so, not each student, but like get somebody that can help and that maybe reaches out to people rather than just waiting for students to reach out to them. So then this leads me to my second solution, which is mentorship and social capital building programs, which could consist of having maybe people like us, like freshmen, sophomores in college that maybe don't have the best background, that are willing to go into high schools and show students. And I think it would be a lot easier for students to see somebody around their age doing it than maybe hearing like a professor or somebody that's a bit older than them, because it gives them that connection. And then also having those role models like I had, Katie Kalish, she pushed me a lot and she showed me that college was for me. And I'm not that everybody has that ability to have a professor one-on-one like that, but I think that everybody should have some type of mentor throughout college that can show them that it's okay, don't give up, because that's another one, is people giving up. So the combination of financial aid literacy and then sustained mentors would make a huge difference. And I can say that because it also was my own experience. And now I'm going to go over my opposing views and rebuttals, which is that college is not the only path. But I would like to say that college is the most realistic and stable vehicle. You have somebody telling you where to be at a certain time, which is what a lot of these students need, is to have structure built in so that they can get to these careers and everything. So it brings that structure that maybe other self-taught things wouldn't bring. And then it also gives you the most informed choice and options. So you're more informed when you know more. And then it also will give more opportunities once you are done. You have a college degree will give you many opportunities, and it gives you opportunities while you're within the school with communicating and talking to peers, professors, and everything that can get you a lot of connections. So now for the conclusion. I want to go over to review the cycle of poverty just to get it through our heads. So this is just a visual to show that the cycle repeats without any interventions or mentors or lack of people with a positive influence on them. And this leads to a mindset. So it will bring you from here, and then you're not going to know where to go for school, and then you're going to get stuck maybe, or you don't know how to get a successful job, and then you're linked into the intergenerational poverty. Then you start your own, and it just goes and goes until there's maybe a break right here. If we get a break right here with the mentorship and the financial aid literacy, there might not be the loop anymore. And so we've explored the truth of the cycle of poverty and the obstacles in two-part failures of social barriers and financial barriers, with missing role models and an inaccessible aid system. And this can be fixed with the early financial aid and sustained mentorship. And this is an urgent matter, and that's why I chose this as my speech, because our school's closing. There's only one reason for that: less people are going to college. We need to implement these targeted measures for a positive and rebuilt economy, and just to bring more people to college. And so we must not forget that these people in poverty do have talent, and they could bring a lot to the table. And by making a more reliable path available, we save many families to build a better economy for us all. And so, through the commitment to action, this map is no longer in a foreign language, and the journey is no longer unaffordable. For the next generation, this door doesn't have to be clocked. And a tragic tragically out of reach dream.